Hey, thanks for joining today. I'm really excited to share this video with you. We here at ClickBank pulled the top 100 health and fitness offers on ClickBank, and we looked at all this kind of behind the scenes data for Q3 in 2020. It had some really cool insights here, all around kind of conversion rates, average order value, initial cart value, and just how much commission they're paying and things like that. So it's a really cool way to kind of benchmark and see how your offer's performing, or if you're an affiliate, kind of get an idea on what these offers are really doing to get success. And if you're new to the industry or just new to affiliate marketing, what numbers you can expect to see or what you should be seeing to have success. So that's a better way to probably put that, right? Because expecting to see something if you don't have a similar offer or as good of an offer, it's just doomed for failure. So we're gonna dive in and really dive into the numbers and see how these top offers in the health and fitness space are achieving seven-figure results year in, year out. And yeah, let's go. So we're gonna dive into my screen here. I'm going to present some slides to you, and we'll really just go through the secret sauce, so to speak. So let's start off with conversions and orders, right? So how much are these top offers in the health and fitness space converting, and how many orders a day are they getting? So if we look at this, what we saw on an aggregate level for the top 100 offers was a 2% conversion rate on average, which might be low if you're not used to the direct response marketing space, right? That might sound like only 2%. How can that be, right? But something to remember here is like, this is akin to like door-to-door sales, right? You're trying to get someone on a landing page buying the minute they saw that page, or not the minute, right? But as you know, the first time they saw that page, you're trying to get them to buy. You can imagine if you're at Costco trying to sign someone up for a credit card, or if you're going and knocking on doors trying to get someone to sign up for security systems, how likely are you going to be to get 2 people to buy out of every 100 doors you knock on, kind of thing? That's what we're kind of talking about here. So 2% conversion rate, this is at scale too. The next thing to remember in this case is that as offers scale, conversion rate goes down. So a smaller list, or like an affiliate might have, say, a 5 to 10% conversion rate or something if they have a really warm, smaller list. But as their data gets lumped into this scaled platform, they're going to have that's going to get muddied into, like, say, lower converting traffic, like a scaled Facebook campaign or something. Not that it's lower converting inherently, it's just opened up to much wider audience, right? So it's not as targeted, so it doesn't convert as high. As we break that into supplements and digital, so ClickBank has a lot of digital offers. That's kind of what we've built our business on for the last 22 years. Supplements have really been surging though in the last 8 years or so. So we're selling a lot of physical products, and a lot of those in the health and fitness space are supplements. If we break this down, this was surprising. Digital converts at 2.56%, and supplements convert at 1.37%. That surprised me because I always thought a physical good would convert at a higher level than a digital good. And I think we'll explain some of the why behind why that might be going against my gut assumptions here in some future slides. But so we'll keep kind of splitting between digital and supplements, because it is an important and different distinction as we look at this aggregate data. And the next piece is, on average, the top 100 offers are getting 340 orders per day. Right, so that's from affiliates or from their own traffic media buying. That's 340 orders per day, or new customers per day, if you will. And this might be high to you, or if you're more scaled, that might sound low. A lot of people throw out the $1,000 a day number, or excuse me, 1,000 sale a day number and things like that, which is a high bar to hit. And plenty of offers do hit it, but as we can see here, being in that 300 to 500 level range is much more likely from a aggregate level, from an average level. So next we'll dive into average initial purchase. So what we mean by average initial purchase here is the total revenue divided by the number of initial orders, right? Initial meaning new customers, essentially. So we're not looking at, the total AOV here. We're looking at the initial cart value. And why this is important is that the initial cart, or initial checkout piece, is most of the revenue in both digital and supplement cases, right? It's kind of like the lion's share of the funnel, if you will. And we're looking at ClickBank funnels here. What we're talking about is a sequential limited SKU upsell step. So a customer lands on a sales page. They have the option to buy usually just one product. It might be some different options with bundles and things like that. And then they check out, and then they're presented with upsell steps, which are one-click options to kind of add on to their order, if you will, which transact in real time. And they usually experience 1 to 4 kind of upsell steps. There can be more, but we see like take rates really go down as things go higher. So that's what we mean here. So when this average initial purchase, we're just looking at the first cart item. Someone's filling out all their cart info like on that cart, like I'm buying this offer, before they see the rest of the upsell series. And so what we see for digital in this case is an average initial order checkout of $33.55. And what's cool here is that when we dove into the data a little more and I filtered out some things like the really low, like kind of like $8 to $12 items and the kind of the free kind of subscription items and things like that. This almost lands exactly where I thought it would, to be in like that $37. If you're just looking at like a straight sale ebook, a lot of those are selling right at that $37. When you filter out some of those lower ticket things, that average comes right up to around $37. So, but overall, it's an average of $33.55 for that initial checkout purchase on a digital item. And that is making up 60% of the average order value. Right, so that $33 on average is making up 60% of the full order, which is right where we thought it would be, and what I thought most offers operate at, to be honest. But when we look at supplements or physical sales, that average initial purchase jumps up to $143 for supplements, right? This, I knew it would be high. I didn't think it'd be this high, to be candid. I thought this would be in like the $80 to $90 range. That's where I've been like telling people, to be honest. I'm going to start changing my tone when I talk with clients and leads that want to work with ClickBank, because this is much higher than I anticipated. $143 for the initial checkout for these supplement funnels, and then that's making up 78% of the full average order value. So 78% compared to, going back to the digital, 60%. So almost 20% jump in the average, in the full purchase price is coming from the initial cart for supplements. This kind of blew my mind, to be honest, because upsell flows are very important. You see a lot of focus on upsell flows, how to get higher take rates on your first upsell flow, how to kind of structure them, and that's still worth doing, right? I don't want to kind of highlight that this is not worth doing, but gosh, yeah, I think the what this shows me is the meat on the bone for supplements is really that first take rate. And so how can you start to kind of get to if you're much, if you're under this, how can you start to get to a $143 average? What we're seeing is like BOGOs, right? Buy one, get one offers, different bundling packages where it drives down the cost of the individual supplement bottle or kind of case, if you will. So as you're offering them like a really aggressive discounts on a per bottle basis if they take 6, things like that. And just ways to kind of bundle packages together and really offer them an incentive to take a bigger initial cart value and drive that up instead of trying to take like a 1 bottle funnel. So moving into total cart, what we're seeing here is, if you look at the aggregate data, which is kind of messy, the full AOV for health and fitness is $120, right? $118.67. Obviously, that's kind of messy data because supplements and digital are so different. So looking at just supplements, that's $183 for the full AOV. And then for digital, it's $48.89. So we're in that $50 category, which makes this, honestly, for digital, made total sense to me. Supplements, that actually backs out close to what I thought. I thought this would be like a $150 range, but as we saw, that's more of like the average initial purchase. But when I start to see offers scale, quote unquote, and they kind of start to kind of tick up in daily sales and affiliate engagement, is when they can start to see that average order value get to these ranges. And that's, I just didn't realize that the initial made up so much of that average for supplements. So again, around $50 for digital, $180 for supplements when you're looking at the full AOV for the initial plus upsell flows. So that's kind of covering all the sexy data points you kind of want from a full aggregate level. But what about the best? What are the top 20% doing compared to the rest of the 100, if you will, right? Because that's, Perry Marshall's 80-20 rule applies, the Pareto principle applies to everybody. A lot of the sales come from the top 20%. So what are they really doing to separate themselves from the rest of the pack? Well, if we look here at conversions, kind of going back to the top of the funnel, we'll drill back down again. Their conversions are actually lower. So 1.22% versus that 2% average, right, across the board. But here, and that you might be surprised, like how can their conversion rate be lower if their volume is so much higher? But look at this is the difference now between their daily sales volume. 340 is the average. The top 20% have an average of 960 sales a day, right? So who isn't going to give up, 64% lower conversions for 182% higher daily sales volume? The math is obvious. And what they're able to do here is their average, initial carts and their payouts are so high and things like that they can scale at such a higher rate. The economies of scale are really in their favor in this case. So again, and if, it holds true too that their scale is so much bigger in this case, that conversions are naturally going to come down because they're just exposed to such a wider audience. So now if we dive into their average initial purchase, this gets even skewed higher. So a lot of the top offers are supplements. And if we look at the average initial purchase, they're looking at $171 here compared to the $143 for the aggregate data. So almost $30 more in just average initial purchase price, or 60% higher, which is, I thought 143 was high. So to see this for the top 20% is, not to get too metaphorical, but it's jaw dropping. I was just like, oh my gosh, this explains a lot of their success is right here. And then looking at their full AOV, or their total cart, $209 is their average total cart or full AOV purchase price, which is 44% higher than the rest of the pack. And it's 81% of that is coming from the initial order. So it's even more skewed towards the initial order. So they're doing an even better job at getting customers to pull out for, this $171 average initial purchase price, right? So I think this really shows, if you're looking to pump up your offer, look at how you're bundling, look at how you're putting in and kind of framing the offer when you do go to close that sale on your sales landers or VSL, and really see how can you start to get these bundles higher, how can you start to get that average initial purchase price higher, because that's likely where you have meat on the bone to kind of get more volume rolling in and more money coming in without messing with, full AOV and kind of upsell flow sequences initially. And again, going back to, this really shows why these top offers are better. They can just spend more on traffic or affiliates, right? The average affiliate payout is $113. So over 50% is going to the affiliate in these cases. And this, if you're not used to the direct response marketing space, you might be surprised and go, oh man, I thought affiliates were used to getting like 10 to 20%. That might be true in e-com, right? And just kind of traditional e-com stores. But for direct response marketing, you're really looking at over 50%. I know some of these top offers are paying out, 60%, 70%, sometimes even as high as 85% when it comes to supplements, right? So they're really, maybe break even on acquiring the customer, maybe going negative on acquiring the customer with how much they're paying the affiliate and all their other operating costs. But then they are outbidding other offers, so they're paying out so much higher that the conversion rates can be lower, and they're winning all this traffic, and now they're going to monetize that customer with recurring, with cross sales, or other affiliate offers that they're going to promote. And so to summarize all this, if we look at the breakdown here of the top 100 and the top 20%, right, conversion rates for the top 100 are 2% with 340 sales per day. The top 20%, is seeing 1.22% conversion rates with 960 orders per day. And this is driven by, the average initial purchase price for the top 20% being $171 versus $107 for the top 100, right? So just beating up the rest of the field when it comes to that initial payout. And I want to highlight too, these are not quote unquote traditional high ticket funnels, right? Like a $500 initial purchase price. There's nothing like that bumping this up. These are all, health and fitness offers. Single bottle is probably selling for $47 to $60 range, and they're just driving bundles and BOGOs to get that initial average purchase price up. And then looking at total cart, $119 for the top 100, $210 for the top 20%. So almost $100 more in that case. And then the average affiliate payout, here's the big number here, right? $55 for the top 100 and $113 for the average affiliate payout for the top 20%. So they're just outpaying and winning so much traffic when it comes to affiliate traffic and even internal media buying, right? You can just scale so much more when your numbers back out like this. And I want to highlight a few things here before we wrap up, is that you might look at this whole thing and go, why would I bother with digital? Right? Digital is, if we go back to some slides, is like so much lower than physical when it comes to average checkout and things like that. Well, digital has a much lower barrier to entry if you have an offer, right? There's not the headaches of manufacturing and fulfillment and everything that goes into that and shipping and all that kind of good stuff. You just have to deliver them the product in a digital format, which happens instantly. And, your margins are so much higher that you can pay out 80, 90, 100% and still break even, right, on your customer acquisition. So you can get much more aggressive on the payouts. And as we saw, right, the conversion rates can actually be higher because the price points are lower, right? If you have a $33 average checkout price compared to a $100 checkout price, your conversion rates will be higher. So the affiliate's earning per click, right, if you want to look at that metric, is likely going to be on par for top offers compared to top offers. Now, I'll say on par to the top 100, not the top 20%. That's where we see things shift a bit. But I'd say don't be afraid to promote or build digital offers still. We still see these growing year over year. But this is just really showing behind the kimono kind of what is driving all this. And really, there's a lot more data that we didn't cover in this presentation right here, which brings me to the rundown report for Q3. And this is where, again, right, we pulled a lot of this data, we've formatted it into this presentation, which I think is very valuable. Right? If I'm an offer owner, I'm going to geek out on this. But we dove into a lot more detail into this rundown report, which you can get from the description below. You can go opt in to get it. It's free, totally free, right? Go grab it. We're going to be putting these out quarterly, so you can kind of expect to see more of these coming out, more data deep dives in different niches and different types as we see cool data pop up. I really just want to arm you with data so you can go make the best decisions possible for your business. So go grab it. Again, link in the description. Go get the ClickBank Q3 rundown report. See how your offer stacks up, or if you're building an offer where you kind of need to be. And yeah, happy scaling, y'all. This has been fun. Please let me know what questions you have in the comments below. We'll be engaging in there and kind of hashing out any data questions you've got. And yeah, cheers.